Hey everybody, Jedrick from PDSN here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're driving into Blender's 5.2 LTS, and this one is big. Blender's long-term support release are the versions studios rely on for stability, predictability, and production. Ready pipelines, but Blender's 5.2 isn't just a maintenance release, it's introducing experimental physics inside the geometry nodes, online asset libraries, and major rendering upgrades. That pushes Blenders into the new era. Let's break it down. One of the headlines featured in Blender's 5.2 LTS is experimental cloth and hair physics. Inside the geometry gnome, this is a huge shift. Traditionally, physics simulation in Blender's cloth, hair, and soft bodies lived in their own separate systems. Geometry nodes was powerful, but physics wasn't part of that ecosystem. Blender's 5.2 changes that. What this means, you can now build procedural physics systems using nodes. Cloth hair can be generated simultaneously and modified entirely inside nodes graphics. Artists get non-destructive workflow, meaning you can tweak parameters without resimulating from scratch. Technically, artists can build custom physics rigs that were impossible before. This is still experimental, but it's a clear sign of where Blenders is heading, a unified node-driven simulation framework. If you want to explore deeper, you can check out geometry nodes or cloth physics. Blender 5.2 introduces remotely hosted assets library, meaning your assets don't have to live on your local machine anymore. Why this matters: studios can host shared libraries on servers, teams can collaborate without manually syncing files, assets can be versioned, updated, and deployed centrally. You can pull assets directly into Blenders without downloading entire collections. This is Blender stepping into the world of network production pipelines, something commercial tools like Maya and Houdini have had for years. If cycle improvements, faster path tracing in complex screens, better handling of instancing, more accurate lighting sampling, reducing noise, indirect lighting, EV improvements, more stable shadows, better transparency handling, improved screening space reflections, more predictable performance across GPUs. These aren't flashy features, but they matter. Rendering is where the Blender spends most of its time, and these improvements translate directly into saved hours. Blender 5.2 LTS also includes dozens of smaller improvements that make daily work smoother: faster viewport performance, more stable undo system, better USD import and export, improved sculpture brushes, more stable GPU memory management. These are the kinds of updates that don't make headlines but absolutely make difference when you're working on a project for weeks or months. Blender is clearly moving toward a fully procedural node-driven future. Physics inside geometry gnomes. This is The first step, online assets libraries, are the second. Rendering improvements are the foundation. Blender 5.2 LTS isn't just a stable release, it's a roadmap. The open source 3D ecosystem is evolving fast, and Blender is positioning itself as the most flexible, most accessible, and most community-driven tool in the industry. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Blender 5.2 LTS is a major milestone, and I'm curious how you think it will shape the future of open source 3D. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.